He went all the way around and two those.
Oh, what? Two number.
You know how old you can't have.
You're probably going to.
Welcome back to Jtwes. Thank you guys. Another video. Hope you enjoyed the few little short scenes of the Hibernia campground this weekend. I had all intended on recording some, but we didn't. And the schedule we on now is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday is a video, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is a video, because most of the time I got a lot more work Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday that I can do with the tractor. And but we'll just have a Monday video, but we got a lot to do this week. So between this one and the next video, we'll have plenty to do. We got some more planting to do. We got to put some nitrogen down on the Jimmy Red. Thought we'd take the tractor over here, get this plow off, because I got to put the planter back on, and show you the garden over here. We got a blessing yesterday. We got an inch of rain. And it's hard for me to believe it's an inch, because it seemed like it didn't rain but about, maybe 20 minutes. I mean, it came down hard. I got another little rain gauge in the house, and I think I'm going to put it up out there with the other rain gauge, or maybe a different spot in the yard. I don't know. Just to kind of compare the two, because, you know, it did rain quite a bit, but I just had no idea it was an inch. But Sammy said it was an inch, and we're thankful for it, and we're glad to have it, so that's a good thing there. But we'll go over and look at that corn. It's making corn right now. It's actually past tassel. It's actually in the earing stage, and the rain's really gonna help that. I was just looking out at the, Sammy, can you show from this angle? You can see, maybe not. The sunflower and the Hastings is competing for height. They're both about 11 foot right now, probably somewhere along there. But I hate it for the sunflower. He's heading out, so he's gonna lose his height. But the Hastings will probably get him before it's over with. It's gonna get another foot or so. And we'll stop by and look at our Hastings, by the way. Now that we're talking about it, we need to look at the watermelons too, and see what that plowing did. You know, plowing around it and seeing if that's holding back weeds and what have you, and, you know, make sure it's still clean. But let's crank this thing up, get the plow off. Man, I forgot to cut my thing off. Okay, I'm back. Answered the phone call real quick. Let's crank this up, get this over there, and get the plow off. Oh, by the way, guys, I'm working. Sun ain't on me too much, is it, Sammy? No. We're hopeful to get a new lawnmower. Not really sure what brand. It may be Cub Cadet, maybe something else, not sure. I'm hoping Cub Cadet. That's what we're aiming for. And if we do, we'll make us a nice video of it, first impressions, and show y'all, you know. I'm not one on trying to keep big secrets of the channel, you know, like if I'm getting a piece of equipment or something. If I got it on my mind, y'all generally gonna know about it, because I'm gonna tell you, hey, I've been looking at this, and hopefully we can get it. So Lord willing, it'll work out. The Hustler is 8 years old, going on 9 years old, and Ellie needs a mower, so that'd be a good one for him. He texted me today, and he said, you need that mower before that new one comes in. I said, well, it's supposed to be about 2 weeks, so if I need my grass mowed, you'll just have to bring it back and mow my grass. So I don't know. He may come and get it today. All right, cold start. I think we need to get some plugs. I noticed it taking a little longer to start than it usually does. So I believe we need some plugs. Of course. That's all right. We'll get it. Luckily, that ain't no 8-bottom plow. Man, that thing's hot. There we go. You know, guys, it's been a while since I talked about this. I think I did a video a couple of years ago. We got a roller. We got a pull bush hog that cousin Scott gave us. We put some wheels on the back, and it's a fine little bush hog. You just can't turn real tight with it. Of course, he told me that when I got it. We got a wonderful bog hare that we can put weights on it. We'll probably show that later on this year when we do some corn stalks and stuff. A spring tooth, aka I call it my chisel plow, but the correct name's a spring tooth. Spring tooth tiller. One bottom 16. Leveling hare, I think it's a F something, y'all don't quote me on it, F45, 55, 65, something. This is what I did not use when we just dug those potatoes a couple weeks ago. You can see, and it needs to come off the ground. It's a furrow plow, aka people call it a potato plow, especially if it's in the center in one point. But it's actually an international furrow plow. 214s, my scoop pan. I hope you guys don't mind seeing this thing because it's actually going to get a lot of action this year. I got to do a lot of work with this, so you guys will see some videos with that, and we'll talk about that in a second. And a scrape blade, and there's a pickup bush hog around the corner. Y'all have seen that on the channel. You've seen the planters, and you've seen the Holland transplanter that we use. So that's my equipment lineup. You know, would I like to have some more stuff? Yeah. My buddy Stan, I'm sure he'll watch this video. He's got a little, excuse me guys, he's got a little drag hare that you let your teeth down on it. That boy, it's I'd love to have one of them. That would if you wanted to plant something flat and after you disted it, that would get it's almost like a field cultivator, but it's not a field cultivator, but it would probably do about what a field cultivator do if the land's in good shape. Speaking of land in good shape, let's see, let me get somewhere to lean my tired body up against, because guys, I'm telling you, that heat really brings it out of you. Not a bad comment, not an offensive comment, just one of those comments that make you think why you do what you do and the things and how we do things. Guys, if I had me I'll say this, if I had me a 50-foot wide by 100-foot deep garden and a and a Cub Cadet tiller, we'll say that, a Cub Cadet tiller, rear tines, walk behind, I could grow, you know, a beautiful, beautiful garden in there. But I use these tractors. I like these tractors. I like rows. I like planting patches and stuff. And we cultivate them and we keep the grass out. I'm not set up for no-till, but somebody had made a comment about soil washing away. Yeah, I do have soil wash away. Not all the way away. It'll wash to the end of the garden down there, and it's still down there. That garden over there, it'll wash to the end and down the hill just a little bit, but it's still there. It ain't disappeared. I haven't lost it. And you know, and if you'll take the time, which I can use my scoop pan. My buddy Sam's got one that'll pull behind a 674, a 785 or something like that. You know, 60, 70 horsepower tractor. I'm sure I could get it from him, but I don't. I try to do things myself. I try to do things with my 140 because I enjoy it. We'll take that pan this year and we're going to get all that dirt back and we're going to put it back up here, especially in this section right here, because this section's been a little hard on me. But we'll put it back. You know, and I thought to myself, if a little bit of soil washes and you get it with a pan and put it back, which a lot of tobacco farmers do. Tobacco farmers are notorious for having a big old tractor and a big old pan on their farm pulling this dirt back and putting it back in the field every year. I've seen it a long, I mean, that's why my buddy Sam's got one. And you know, taking care of the field and having a lot of waterways in there to divert water and keep soil from washing away and eroding. And yes, we do cultivate and we do till the soil. You know, I'm not sure that tilling the soil is a bad thing. It's mentioned 3, possibly 4 times in the Bible in Genesis chapter 4 and 3 and 4 about tilling the soil. So I don't think the Lord didn't want us to till the soil. He wouldn't have mentioned it. It's okay, but I just wonder sometimes, and this is just me wondering, I'm just, in my mind, I'm driving down the road going to my jobs in the morning and I'm thinking about stuff. What's worse, or losing a little soil and putting it back, or, you know, planting these cover crops, so to speak, and then burning it down with Roundup or glyphosate, I can't say the name good, planting your cotton on it or your soybeans, whatever you're planting, and doing that year after year after year after year after year. Yeah, you hadn't really lost no soil, but golly, what did you put in the soil? I mean, that, I would think that glyphosate's got to go somewhere. And I sure would hate to try to raise a vegetable garden on a field that's been not tilled in 15 years and it's had soybeans in it or cotton or something like that with glyphosate sprayed on it 2 or 3 times a year. So, you know, to me, what would be perfect for me is to till the soil, and if I do lose it, to put it back. Take the time, the effort, whatever it takes, scoop it back up, put it back. Now, if you're in a situation where you're losing soil in a river where you can't get it back, you probably don't need to be raising something right there if you can help it. I mean, I know we can't always do, you know, stuff, but recovering it and putting it back, the only thing, and this is my ideal this year, and y'all guys know I tried it last year and I had the wrong ryegrass, and so I plowed it under, and I said, no, I'm not messing with that. I'm not getting covered up with ryegrass, the stuff I planted. I do plan on bush hogging these stalks, taking that bog hair, busting the centers out and getting it level, because you know how it throws it like that. I'm going to plow it, but after I get done plowing it, Roger picked me up a little cedar. We're going to get some winter rye, the one that's like wheat, and we're going to plant it on that plowed soil, and I'm going to lightly cut it with that disc right there, just lightly cut it. And at about March of next year, we'll start killing it with equipment. And we ain't going to kill it with glyphosate or anything like that, but we'll plow the corn stalks under. That'll be rotting. We'll plant that rye on top of that fresh plowed ground. And I'm going to do this on everything. I'm going to do it on this patch, the Hastings. Well, at least 2 rows in this patch is not going to have it, because I got to have somewhere for my onions and garlic. So I'm trying to figure that out. I may extend this out 2 more rows, and we may put that in the fresh extension. But anyway, so we'll pull the soil back after we bush hog it and cut it. We'll get the soil that we lost down on that end and put it back up here. Do the same thing for that garden. Cut it and plow it and plant that rye. And then we're going to work on it hard about March of next year. The good thing about discovering the Avipel, I'm not so worried about jumping out with my corn now. When I feel like I can beat the frost, we're going to plant the corn, and I don't have to worry about the crows getting it, so that's a good thing. But it's just a thought, guys. You know, when that fella commented about losing soil, cultivating and losing soil, you know, I thought about it, and I said, well, golly, I mean, I'm not so sure. And yes, I know that there's scenarios where you can plant stuff in beds of rye, but if you're doing an early planting, I mean, again, how you kill that rye back. Are you spraying it, or are you waiting until June when it naturally dies and then the ragweeds start coming up in it? I don't know how you would plant something in another crop and be in time, because like I remember one time in a Progressive Farmer, they were testing planting tobacco in rows of rye that was killed back. Now when you plant tobacco, it ought to be around here, you know, maybe mid-April would be a good start. And in my mind, if you were planting it in rye and you didn't kill it back with chemicals, it's still green. So, you know, and eventually something's gonna have to happen. Now, even if you do plant a crop in a cover crop, those weeds are still gonna find a way. You still gonna get a pigweed or ragweed or something. You're gonna have to go in there and do something, either spray it or manually cultivate it and get those weeds out, go in and pull it out. So I don't know. You just gotta hit what's best for you. I do, and with me filming, let this car go by. With me filming more of my stuff now behind the scenes and not just, you know, okay, we're planting corn. You know, here it is disking it up, here it is bedding it, here it is planting it. You know, I plan on bringing you guys in on the things I do with this scoop pan to pull soil back, to put it back up here, get what I lost down there. And so it'll hopefully be a good thing. And I may have to put some more nitrogen on the peaches and cream. Yeah, it's not gonna show up, Sam. But let's while we're talking about it, we'll get off that subject. That's just my thoughts, and I'm sure, and I'm not telling nobody what to do, guys. I'm just saying that's what's in my mind. Here's some of that. I think this is some of that rye that made it through last year, because I've never had rye over here. Yeah, it's the same size seed. See, that's what I planted last year, guys, and I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta cut it under. But there it is. Some of it on the end here had made it through the plowing, and there's some out in the patch out there, so I'll have to deal with that for the next few years, I guess. But it was the wrong rye. Here's the peaches and cream. I mentioned earlier in the video we did get that rain, and you can tell it here, guys. If you look right here, you can see the moisture in there. It's almost wet to the touch there, and you can see the corn. It's 90 degrees out here today, and the corn is not swiveled up at all. It was yesterday, don't get me wrong, guys. She was begging, but I need to, I got fertilizer in here, and I think it was just so dry, the roots just haven't, you know, it takes a little bit of rain sometime to let that stuff filter into the soil where those roots grab it, and I think it was just so dry it hadn't mixed in the soil yet. So hopefully in the next couple of days this will green up a little bit. We'll look at this in a second. Lino came through, and we did have a soaker hose on her okra, and it is really, it's really dancing now. We thinned it out a little bit, and it's a beautiful little roll of okra. It'll give her way more than she wants. Don't be fooled, guys, by some of these red tomatoes here. Some of them are legit tomatoes, but like that one, that's not legit. That had some blossom end rot on it. This one too. I got some nice ones coming on, like say that one. Some of these upper ones is what I'm really looking to can. Like even that, see, don't get fooled by it, guys. It's I will say that this little section here this year, I've never really had much blossom end rot, but I did have it this year. But there's a lot that don't have it. We got some worms over here, Sammy, somewhere. But I think we'll be okay, and we'll still be able to harvest what we need on the tomatoes. But we'll have to put some lime or something on them next year, or something for maybe if I put them over here. I may put them back where I had them, where I didn't have a problem with it. Every soil's different, and you know how it is. Sweet corn, let's look at this. So here's the Silver Queen. It looks fine. I did notice, you know, it had a lot of suckers on it. I didn't mess with them this year like that right there. That whole thing ain't nothing but a sucker. Whoa, we'll give that to the goats for a treat. But we'll sacrifice an ear here and see what type stage. Show you guys the early stage it's in. She's turning a little bit brown, but it's still quite the corn there. That rain, as you can see, I guess if you were making stir fry, this right here would be delicious for some stir fry. As you can see, there she was filling out, and it could not have hit it at a better time. Sweet. Couldn't have hit it at a better time. So we need to make sure we give that to the goats.
That was going to be the biggest ear in the crop.
Probably was. That's probably. But at, you know, again, you know, at the beginning of the year, I contemplating, you know, I was like, man, you know, remember the crows were pulling up corn that deep. I mean, that tall. I showed it to you. And I was, oh man, I'm just gonna cut the whole thing. But when it's small like that, you don't see really the real stand you have until it starts getting on up. And it turned out, I mean, it's a whole lot better stand than I thought. And you know what? There's more corn we'll ever can right here, just in these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rows. These 7 rows, I won't can that much. I may get me, I've probably came far as I need to come this way. I thought about getting me one more plow width right here, and that'd be right at the breaking point of the hill, but I think I'd be pushing it there. I could extend this out just a little bit more and get a little more right here and turn around right here. It's got a little high spot right there where things have washed down to this end, so we'll take that pan and we're going to scoop that high spot back off and take it to that end of the garden up there. So that's, and it'll take a while. We'll film it for you, but we'll edit it out so you're not sitting there watching a 3-hour video, because it'll take, that little pan's a big wheelbarrow full. But you know, you scoop it up, dump it, come back around, scoop it up, dump it, you'll get it there. We may have to take the scrape blade afterwards and fix some of the dumps, but not generally. You don't have to, because it doesn't dump enough to make a big pile of dirt. But we'll get it back up there. Let's look at the sweet potatoes, and we'll ride up and look at the corn and the cotton. And this is probably a long enough video, but we'll show you those things. And like I said, guys, we'll start back recording for the next video tomorrow, which is probably going to involve some planting and cultivating and everything else. What else we come up with, you know. We got live tonight, so we'll do Monday Night Live tonight, and just keep going. Guys, I ate a peach yesterday. I almost forgot. It's still a little stiff, but I found one over here, and I've showed it 2 or 3 times on video. It's on this limb right here, and it's somewhere right in here. I pulled it off yesterday. They're still just a pinch stiff, but I think we're within a week of being able to come in here and just start pulling. These are the limbs I showed you in the last video, and they are still on the limb and they're still surviving. Of course, obviously we'll have to cut those limbs off. Okay, that one done broke. Yeah, you can see it's kind of wilted. And all right, those peaches we'll lose. Ah, man, I hate that. That's, golly, I bet that's 50 peaches right there. I hate that. But you can tell that. So the storm last night must have finished breaking that. This one, yeah, it's still hooked. So we'll leave that one, but that one broke. But even at this limb, that limb, what little bit's in here, this limb and that limb, and we'll come back this fall and we'll finish the pruning job that it gave itself. We'll probably get some of these bigger limbs and get them off, and but you know, who knows, it may be another. These have been fed good the whole year. You can see the size difference on them. You can kind of tell these broke limbs, yes, they're still alive, but they're a lot smaller. Potatoes are spreading the heels, guys. Last time I planted sweet potatoes, I had some football-sized sweet potatoes. They were really almost no good for nothing but canning and pies, I reckon. But they were huge, man. They were like that. So that, you know, no groundhogs. That's done. I just left this up for the deer, which it's got a little bit of bite, but it ain't. I guess it'd be a lot more if I had these shoes off and I was standing barefoot on the ground. It'd probably be a lot more bite to it. But, you know, we still have this roll of Jimmy Red right here that, you know, this will be our seed row, and it's going to come out good. You know, here's the potato row we had, and here was the onion row. I may, on this garden, I may get me another row up the hill a little bit more just to make it a little bit bigger than I did last year. But this garden has some washing down there, and it's in the corner, and we'll pull it back up to in here, probably is where we'll pull it back up to. The cucumbers are looking fine. Unfortunately, I think they're getting a little bit of electric shock treatment because I didn't raise but just a handful of cucumbers, guys, because I'm not going to can any. And Lino just likes having some for some fresh salad and stuff like that. So we didn't, you know, we didn't raise a whole big thing of cucumbers. So it looks like in a couple, 3 days, she'll be able to get one off. Here's one right here. If Sammy's brave enough, you can reach in and get that one, Sammy. Yeah, reach in and get that bad boy. It'll be all right. But yeah, this is working fine. We're gonna take this down probably. I don't know. It might. I keep hearing something popping. Where's it popping at? I heard it popping right in here. But we'll get these down, and I got a little spot I want to put it up for the goats, to let the goats eat it out this fall. Like I said, I got the net. I don't know if I've really mentioned it on video. I think I have on the live streams, but on videos. I got the net, and I tried as hard as I could to not, to try to live with the groundhog, and it just didn't work out. And so now I got this net now, so I left it up just for secondary deer defense from this right here, which this has worked great for the deer and had no problems with it. And so we just left it up. But who knows, it may keep a rabbit out or something. Let's go look at some watermelon. You know, it's a good decision that we come back and cultivated this, guys. Not bad looking. Here's the ones that the deer eat off. You can see that they've spiraled out a little bit more. They've come up quite a bit from where they were ate off at, so that's a good thing. I tell you what else I like, it's plenty green, which tells me, you know, if you guys remember, this is one of the only fields this year that I put fertilizer down when I planted it. That's probably a better way. I'm sure that's a better way to go, because the plant gets it as soon as it can get it. And the only reason why I had not done that much in the past, and a little bit weary of it, because I was always worried about crows getting the corn up, and you know, you done lost all your fertilizer. I'll probably put down fertilizer on everything I plant next year with that foot. You see me do it with the foot on this patch here, because it is plenty green out there. And not a bad little stand of corn. Should get some water and make. We might have us a decent patch of Jimmy Red this year. So, but I do need to get in here with the cultivators. Got some crabgrass. This right here, this summertime crabgrass. If I can get in here, put enough speed on it, we can put a hurting on a lot of that crabgrass. It doesn't have much nut grass, but it does have crabgrass. Let's walk over and look at the watermelon. Woo, look at that fine roll of watermelons right there. Man, look up through there. Just a wad of watermelons. This looks like Florida down here with that roll of long watermelons. Couple of babies on here. I just seen them. Where'd I see it at? Oh, there's one. Oh, here's the big ones. Got a little watermelon right there. Guys, we may just have to have a watermelon day, and all you subscribers that live close to me, come by and get a watermelon. Providing that the deer don't eat them up. Look at this one right here. He's right. Let's eat him. Let's walk down and see if there's any other. Because I could have swore I saved some striped watermelons too. Uh-oh. Something done eat that out already. Well, maybe it'll be enough in here where they can eat some and I can have some. Is that a striped? Sammy said this is a striped one. Look at that little baby. Is he up under? There he is. Look at him. And they got some blooms in here. So we do got, there's a round one. This rain will sure do this good. I like plowing this big fur here. Guys, if y'all remember last year, this thing was full of weeds. And that's some of the weeds that hadn't quite rotted yet. And when I plowed it, it put them back on top. This is a weed right here. We're gonna get this out. It's actually salad. Salad that done went to the seed. We can save them seeds, Sammy, and plant us some salad. And a ragweed. Always gotta have ragweed. You know how ragweeds are. All right, the Hastings, you can tell, guys, she was taking a beating. You can see some of these dry here, and it's still a little curled today. It's just probably gonna take a little more water. I think it was just so dry, and I'm thankful for what we got. I was just looking here. It's got a little moisture in there now, and I'm thankful for what we got. But hopefully we'll get a couple thunderstorms this week. But it's not in the tasseling stage yet. It doesn't quite have the dark green color that I like. I don't know if that's my fault. I know I put quite a bit of nitrogen on here. Maybe it just hadn't hit it yet. Again, you know, after I put it on here, I don't think we've had much rain. So maybe she'll come on out a little bit more. But a lot of potential here. Just need some rain. And hopefully I put enough nitrogen on it to do what it needs to do. I need to do a better job of keeping up with what I put down next year for sure, because I'll just be honest with you guys, sometimes I forget what I put down, what I hadn't. Well, I think we started here, didn't we, guys? I was riding back down the road and I told Sam, I said, where's the tractor at? He said, still over the barn. We walked off from it and I forgot about it being over here. We got to get it back over there. Appreciate y'all walking with me and talking with me, and I like doing a video like this every now and then where I'm not, you know, I get to show what we've done and talk about what we've done so far this year. I don't think we've done one yet this year where we've done this. And I appreciate it. I thank you so much, and hope the deer don't destroy the watermelons. I'm really looking excited for just a natural grown, speed spitting watermelon. I ain't so sure if there's just an overabundance of them. Me and Sammy might not go up there on a cool evening, crack us open about 2 or 3 of them and just eat the heart out of it. That'd be mean and wasteful, but it sure is tempting. That centerpiece between all those seeds is all we want, right, Sammy? Mm-hmm. But y'all have a good day, good week. You know, I don't know how this deal's gonna come out this year with all that's going on, and you know, just put your faith in the Lord. I see things that I'm told is not real, but we know it's real. We've all had, you know, we've all had grandmothers and grandpas, and maybe they didn't have to be that old to come down with those conditions that some folks have, and we see it. We know what it is. We're not dumb. I mean, it's really sad. I may come down with it myself. Lord you know, forbid I do, but if I do, I do, and hopefully my kids will take care of me if I do. But so certainly not making fun of nobody by no stretch. It's terrible, 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 terrible to see how they treating the poor fella. But so I don't know how this thing's gonna come out this fall, but we'll see. But I do know this, you know, it may not be in my lifetime. I may be gone, you may be gone, all of us, but one day Jesus will set it all right, and he will sit on the throne, and at least for 1,000 years we know, and everybody will be right then, or at least, you know, he'll have, you know, dominion over them and stuff. So I don't know, just pray for the country. It needs it. Pray for the world, everything, world, country. It's just kind of just chaotic everywhere. I was telling Lino, you know, Sammy's getting close to getting some license pretty soon, and I got to pay extra for Sammy, and it really gets me that you have to pay extra for a 16, 17, 18-year-old. You know, give them a chance. Let them mess up first, because I'm gonna tell you what, with all of my driving that I do, the worst drivers that I see, bar none, are between about 30 and 60. That they're 100 times worse than a 17-year-old. I'm telling you. Just today, I was passed twice today on 98 going to Wake Forest, 2-lane road, 55-mile-an-hour speed limit, and I was passed this morning in the turn lane of a curve, and this evening coming home, about the same spot in a turn lane in a curve, by middle-aged drivers. And so, you know, this whole thing with me having to pay more for Sammy to get his license really gets under my skin a little bit. I don't know why somebody in our North Carolina legislation and different places, or government or governors, haven't spoke up and said, you know what, guys, enough of this double charging young folks. Let's give them the opportunity to have a good driving record. Let's give them the same opportunity that you're giving these crazy 30 to 60-year-olds out there driving. So, you know, and maybe at one time in this world, the older folks did drive right, and it was the younger folks that had more accidents statistically and stuff. But I mean, the way driving is nowadays, it just seems like it's the last lap of the Daytona 500 every day on that interstate. And it's but enough about driving. I just, you know, I do spend a lot of time driving, so that's one of the things that's on my mind. And I just constantly see how fast people are going, and it's, sometimes I'm just like, when is enough enough? If you're like me and I'm already doing 9 over the speed limit on the interstate, and that's just not good enough because somebody's just on you. Like, if 9 over is not enough, what's going to be enough? 100, 150, 200 make you happy? But anyway, so having said that, y'all hang in there, put your faith in the Lord, and he'll guide you through, he'll keep you through, and we'll all be okay if you'll do that. I know we will. He promised he will. And he loves you. I always say that. God loves you. He gave his son for you, that through him you can have a relationship with God, through Jesus. And so y'all have a good week, a good day. God bless you. We'll see you.